enough. The appointed hour. This is the first Jamaica Selectboard for 2017, January 9th, 7 p.m. All the players are in attendance. The first order of business is to call for any additions to the agenda. After I did the agenda, there have been several.
Yes,
So-
I'm one of them.
Yes. So Judy has asked to speak to the transfer station on the bottle plans.
Yeah.
Veda, who is the chair of the planning commission, has brought something to our attention we should attend to probably quickly so she can move on with it. It's got to do with the grant money that we agreed to several weeks ago. It's just paperwork stuff. Are there any other additions we could put into the agenda? Yes.
I've got two additions. I think we need to discuss the RFP we need to put out for the demolition of the town garage, the current town garage. And I think we need to, I'd like to have a executive session at the end for a personnel issue.
I would also, please.
Okay, wait a minute. There's not room for you. I'm sorry. There's not room right here.
Oh, okay.
I'll put you in parentheses over here.
Are you gonna do the RFP?
No. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay.
I want to talk
And then
about
RFP and then
the other things.
So I got a prototype today to start working on to see how they're written.
Okay, so these will be added in the, after the other things are accomplished. The first order of accomplishing things is to approve the minutes of the December 12th Select Board meeting. They were circulated. Has everybody had a chance to review them? Any questions? Corrections? Deletions? There was one I would like to add, if I might. If you look to the first paragraph of a presentation by the fire chief regarding the funding request, first line, Chief Dana West informed the board that the Jamaica Volunteer Fire Department's budget for the next year will be $99,000. Budget request, we insert the word request in there. Because the budget's for 105 something, as I recall it. But this was just the 99 was the budget request from us. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Yep, okay. Just to clarify that little piece, and I think that's all I had. Anybody else?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes of the December 12th meeting.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, we are going to approve the minutes of the December 12th meeting, select board meeting, as amended. The next item is item 3, approve the timesheets for the town office, solicitors, highway, and transfer station. And item number 4, sign the select board orders. We generally do that at the end of the session to save time for the public. Number 5, I have announcing and discussing the openings for the town listers and planning commission. I'm going to do that really quickly, and then I'm going to ask Veda to speak to her issue on the planning commission. We have 2 open slots for the town listers as we speak. We have 1 open slot for the planning commission as we speak. And we are going to kind of attend that. We certainly would encourage citizens of Jamaica to come into the town office and make their interest, if they wish to participate, make their interests known to us. We appreciate it very much. It takes the town to run a town, and we could use all the assistance we can get. Veda has, you've got something to speak to the vacancy, but also let's do the grant thing first.
Okay, sure. We recently applied.
I'm sorry, introduce yourself to me.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Veda Bassett from the Planning Commission. We recently applied for a municipal planning grant, which was $8,000 from the state of Vermont, and we received full funding. And so the next step is to accept just the paperwork to accept the grant. We need the signature of the select board chair and then I'll also need to just change our status online, which I can do because I'm the administrator, and then we will be, let them know that we're moving forward with our project. So I'm here to get a signature, so send it in.
I looked over the package that she brought me, and it's very much like all the other state funding packages. They have the same kinds of requirements, and it's pretty much a boilerplate kind of thing of what to do and handle the press and handle waivers and handle, I mean, all kinds of things. It's just a standard state grant thing.
And actually, if I could say one more thing,
Sure.
the planning grant the project is to update our town plan. And I just want to remind you all that if you haven't read our town plan recently, we are going to be going through line by line, word by word, between now and June. So this is the time, and we would love, especially the select board's input. So get it out of your closet and out of your drawer.
And it might be a good time to point out that you guys meet when?
We meet on the first and third Mondays here in the town office at 7 o'clock. And anyone's always welcome. It's an open meeting. And actually on February 6th, we're having a public information meeting, and we're going to be advertising for that and inviting the community to join us and get everyone's input at that time. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And now your vacancy issue.
Yes, we have one spot vacant on the planning commission, and we have one person named Chris Robbins who is interested in it. He told me that he has submitted a letter of interest in joining, and I'm wondering if you would approve him to become our 5th member at this time.
When he submitted the application, there was not an opening for him
At that time.
at
right,
that
Dave
time.
was-
Yeah.
Now the opening has developed. Do we need to revisit his application, or does he have to resubmit it or
No,
redate it?
he doesn't have to resubmit it.
Okay, let's take a look at that this week.
Unless everybody has already seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I'd be
Can you
fine
tell us a
with
little bit
appointing
about him,
him.
I guess?
He attended one meeting. I also had the occasion to hear him speak during the Act 46 research at the school, and he had done quite a bit of research for that project, and he seems, even though I think he's only maybe 3 or 4 years new to living in Jamaica, he seems to want to jump in and participate, and I would be happy to have him as a member.
That would be a good recommendation. I think
We can look at his.
we should look at the paperwork, make sure that's all the way it needs to be, perhaps interview them. Maybe slide an interview in here, and then maybe by the next select board meeting, we should be able to make a decision.
Okay,
How does that sound?
that's
That work
great.
for you?
Yeah, and
Can we
maybe I'll
have-
chat with him too.
Are we warning tomorrow night? Is it possible that?
No. Yeah, I put specifically because it's budget only tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry where you're going with that. Yeah, I made a meeting for tomorrow night. It's going to be the budget, working on the budget, and we need to finish that up.
Okay, I thought maybe we could
We
do
could squeeze
that
it in.
also.
Yeah, probably not a good plan.
Okay.
Does that otherwise make sense? To go ahead, we'll review the paperwork, pick it up again, and I'm very glad that he's been interested, and even though we didn't accept it the first time, he's been working with you, which I think is a plus.
Yeah, he came to one meeting.
Yeah, that's a start.
So maybe I should check and make sure he still is
Please do.
interested in joining, and then
Yeah.
we can decide. We'll touch base.
Excellent. Maybe give me a call and let me know if it's yes or no, and then we'll proceed. Okay,
Sounds good.
super. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good, good, good. The next item of business, it's just really quickly, the Jamaica Volunteer Fire Department, in calendar year of 2016, had 149 calls. Previous year's 129 calls. We are now in the 9th of January. What do we got, 6 already, Alexa?
Yes.
5? 5 or s anyway, just keeping up with the fire department. So also I'd like to remind everybody about the importance of having your house numbers visible from the road. Several weeks ago, I was responding to a call, went past it until I got far enough past to realize what somebody else's address was. I turned around and went back. Please get those numbers visible so we can get there as quickly as possible. The next item is to discuss and review for signing the Rescue Inc. contract.
Do you have that there?
The Rescue Inc. contract. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I looked it over, the price did not go up, the amount was staying the same,
Oops. Here's the contract.
and I make a motion that we approve.
Yeah, because it looked pretty much the same when I read it.
Right.
Where is it? There's a lot of stuff in here.
Paul,
What's that?
Veda has something.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering if you would be able to just do the signature?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, we jumped the gun.
Yeah.
All in,
She
I
has
have a
to mail
motion.
that out.
What's that?
Yes, she has to
Yeah.
mail that out.
I'm sorry. Thank you for keeping me honest.
Could you make a copy of it, maybe, or?
I will make a copy.
Okay.
I have to send them the original, but I will keep some copy.
Because we
Maybe
can
I'll
make
make
a
a
copy
copy here?
here,
Okay.
Yep. We really have a quick motion.
I move that we accept the planning grant from the state
Second.
And authorize me to sign it.
and authorize the chair to sign.
Second.
And have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we will act on it now.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, yeah, aye. Any here, nay? No, okay, moving on. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Thank you.
That's nice. Are they going to help you also down at the,
Yes.
that's great. Because they walked
Here's
us
the rest.
through it. Yeah. Really.
She's gonna make a quick copy. And while she's doing that, where is the rescue contract? I mean, I've looked it over about 3 times, but I don't remember the pile I put it in.
I didn't see it.
See Monday. I'll send you that, the application information, and so you can see.
This is upstairs on my desk. Well,
It's just,
yeah, I know, it's probably upstairs on the desk. I think we can go ahead and, it's the same contract we've had for the last bunch of years with no price changes to speak of. How's the committee? Do you want to go get it, or do we all like the sound of last year's?
if you looked at it,
Yeah, Lex and I both
it
did.
looks, the prices are the same, and
Yeah, we're getting the same coverage. We do know that they're putting a new,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna call it, District 2 or something.
has that opened yet?
Not yet. I think it must be close. I thought they obviously been rushing to get it done, but I don't know exactly what their opening date is.
They got a little ways to go.
They
Yeah,
have some
I thought they
room
did.
there yet.
Have ways to go.
It's hard to tell, it looks like the outside's good.
Yeah.
Who knows what the inside's like?
They had a couple of dates that they were hoping for, didn't quite make it. But they've been busy as well, because if we're busy like this, they're just as busy. Because they went to all of ours as well as everybody else's. All right, so she went to get a copy. They have. So the next thing we're going to go to in order of business, we'll go back to the, Judy had talked about the transfer station bottle plans.
And what I have gotten are some plans for you all to look at with the price.
Oh, good.
Pass it down. Let's see what's going to be. Basically, actually, we're only going to be able to do 4 in actual measurements, so forth, so we have to shorten it, barrels.
Can you explain what you're looking at? Excuse me, but.
It's, she's wondering what we're looking at.
Can you
Oh,
just explain what you
These
handed out?
are the plans for the recycling of the bottles and cans that go to different organizations within the town.
So for the actual container?
The bin. Okay?
You're welcome.
And the place where it's going to be going is, if you can picture in your mind the 2 recycling dumpsters. The one on the left is for paper goods, the one on the right is for bottles and cans and plastics, etc. There is at the very end, right end of that particular container, there's like a little fence, and this particular will be going right in front of that fence. They've been out measuring it, and the containers will be placed internally so that it will be easier for the people who are going to be receiving the bottles and the cans can come and take them and empty the containers rather than one by one by one by one. And there will be a lid on the top, and it will open from the front so that the containers that you find on the front page can slide out easily. And the very last page of yours is the price for materials. And comes to, of course, you know, it's just an estimate, $391.01. One of the things that Harry Robinson and Ray Ballantyne, who are going to be doing this, are going to be looking at are perhaps, and you may know, I think when I was down there with the tires, I think there are pieces of wood down there that have been kind of tossed in there and not been used. And I think that the two guys are going to go down and look and see if some of the wood could be used for the containers. So
You're talking about down in the old town
Yeah.
garage?
yes,
Yeah.
in the old town. So
If there's certainly anything in there that's useful,
yeah,
I don't think there's any plans for its use elsewhere, so.
okay. And then of course that would reduce the amount of money here.
Mhm.
Now what is not on here is labor costs.
Mhm.
And I would like to recommend that they receive each $100 for their labor. So the plan is this. We really need to get that place much more neat, and this way it's going to reduce the work of the attendant because he right now has to put them in the bags, et cetera, and carry them off and move them down to the container down below. And this way, he won't really have to touch this area at all because the people who are coming in, the townspeople that are going to be the recipients of the bottles and cans, will have to be the ones to remove the cans from that area. So I would like to move that we accept these plans and include the $200 to the $391.01 for the bin that will go up and help us with that whole process. And the money is quite considerable that will be going to each of these community activities, so.
I guess here's what's happening in my head. I'm thinking that people are bringing their bottles to where they bring them now.
Right.
This is going to be 50 or 60 yards that way.
I don't think that far.
No?
How long is one of the containers?
They're about probably 40 feet.
Yeah. So
No,
it's not.
It wasn't clear to me where, but before you do that, I'm going to second the motion just so we can discuss.
The stuff, right.
Would you say again where you're planning on
Yes.
putting this?
There is a little fence at the very end of the container that holds the bottles and cans. Maybe it has 3 rungs to it, and it sits on a concrete.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're saying where the bottle, the recyclable container sits now, that fence is adjacent to it.
On the far end of it, on
Yeah.
one end
On
of
the
it?
right-hand side as you
Yes.
face, I thought you'd said it was adjacent to the other
No,
container.
no.
So we have the
It's-
big
It's
containers.
right next to, yeah, right. We have a whole bunch of.
We got all the containers, I moved my brain, went to the wrong container. Okay,
Right.
in that case, it's gonna be right there, it's not
Yeah,
gonna
right
be the
there,
50 or
and
60.
it's not going to make
All right.
the people walk all the way down to the bottom of the hill.
Gotcha.
Although I did want to ask you, if you
Something.
talked to Keith about that location and its ability to plow?
He really can't plow that area anyway. He usually kind of goes in front of it, and then the attendant kind of really does the plowing or shoveling.
Okay, so you've talked to Keith about its location and he's okay with it?
No, I haven't, but I think that it's going to be all right.
Okay, just please check with
I
Keith.
will
just to
check.
make sure, because we don't want to put it there and find out,
Right.
he comes back and says, I can't plow.
Yeah, we don't want to interfere with what he's already doing, but like you said, it's just, he misses it with a sweep anyhow.
Right, he does miss it.
And then, yeah, then it's in the show, it's not like the public work, but it's good to check with Keith
Yeah, I will.
anyhow.
Can I ask you another question?
Sure.
If somebody wants to come and put bottles in there, are the lids gonna be kept closed except for when somebody's actually in it, or they're gonna be kept open?
I think what I would recommend is that it will be open during the day, and then it will be closed at night.
So there's no problem with
Right.
having to worry about somebody getting hurt?
Correct, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, to have it open, not that they're gonna go like that, I don't think that's.
Although you could just open one at a time if you wanted.
Mhm.
Just-
Are there gonna be separate doors, or is this one big door?
No, I think,
The way it's drawn, it looks like it's one large overall
yeah,
door.
I think it is just one,
Not that that's a bad thing, I'm just curious.
yeah.
So I just have a question. I noticed Newfane by the grade school, they have a container that holds for bottles of cans. What is that made out of? Do we know, or how big that? I don't even know how big it is, or is that something that you can always already purchase? Would it be, I don't know if it'd be more, I don't know.
New fan.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I've never seen that, so I.
Yeah, that's what, that's behind
It's
the,
down the grade, it's, no, right in front of the grade school, right near the parking lot.
in front of the grade school.
Newfane grade school,
Newbrook Grade School.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that.
yeah. I don't even know how big it is, because you won't see it from the road. It might be as big as this too.
I can ask a little question.
Yeah.
Wyndham Solid Waste, when they get all these, the way we are doing it now, do they fish out the 5 centers and return them?
Yes.
Or is everything?
We get about 50,000 a year in, maybe 40,000 a year.
I'm not saying they need them, I just wondering if.
We get anywhere from 40 to 50,000 a year by picking the nickels. We call it picking the nickels.
Right.
It's a lot of nickels.
Yeah,
So we have an
people-
arrangement with the Putney Redemption Center. They come over and pick them up, and so, yes.
So if someone had, like plastic and bottles and everything, it'd be up to them, of course, to throw the plastic into the regional bin.
Oh, yeah, right. This-
They would, right, this would
But they
divert
could
some of
still
those.
take them and throw them in here if they wanted to.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
into what we already have.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing anyway. They're separating them out so that the money used to go to the attendant.
Right.
And they would be piled in piles and boxes and things in
Right.
front of the bin. And if they didn't want the money to go to the attendant, they would just chuck them into, and that's when Wyndham
Right.
Solid got
Right.
that amount of money. And they still have that option. If they don't want to put it in the bin, where we're going to put it at the base of the bottle and can container, pressed plastic and everything, they can still put it in or they can put it down there. If it takes 6 steps,
No, I
7
know.
steps. it will
But
be a
it's
lot.
illegal for us or the attendant or anyone to fish those out of there, right?
Right. Once
And
they're
put
in,
them
once they're in
in.
the container, you can't go in and fish them out.
Correct. And they don't.
So this is really an aid to people who are voluntarily donating their nickel deposits
Correct.
to the agencies that are going to be collecting them.
Mhm.
Joel.
Can I ask a
Question?
question? So this was once a benefit,
Identify yourself.
Joel Blooming,
Thank you.
this was once a benefit to the attendant. Is there any compensation to the attendant for losing this benefit?
Well, it really wasn't a benefit when we started, this has been going on for many years. It wasn't a benefit, it was just something that
But it becomes a
That was,
benefit.
May
not
that was done.
technically.
It wasn't technically a benefit from the
But
town. We didn't
But
tell
it
them.
was a consideration of people who worked there.
Well, it's compensation for the extra work of having to.
I don't
It wasn't even, no, it wasn't even, no.
People were
No, no,
giving the
people
People were
attendant
giving it to them.
or throwing them in the
Or
bin,
throwing them
whatever
away. It
their
was the
preference.
choice
And now
of the
people
people.
are not allowed to give them to the attendant.
No, we're gonna give them to,
So,
What he
so
said
the
to,
attendant, in effect, even though it wasn't an official benefit, now in effect, the attendant has lost yet another
It
benefit.
was not written in their contracts that they were to receive.
Well, yeah, but that's, you're talking about legal, I'm talking about humanitarian. And
I
it's
mentioned
not-
that, well, exactly what you're saying at the last meeting.
I'm sorry?
I mentioned exactly what you're voicing now
Mhm.
at the last meeting, that if we did lose the attendant, it would be sort of a, not a hook, but maybe a fringe benefit if they did.
Well, they're
give
not
the
high,
bottles.
they're not high-paid people, they're not given enough hours to qualify for benefits.
But
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
I
Are they
did
not
bring it up,
given health insurance?
They're getting
They
health
have-
insurance and retirement.
Okay.
I didn't bring it up until it was too late to leave.
and our
I
new
already
attendant has
decided.
never really received this, so this is,
Well, the attendants in the past.
in the past, had. It was
I've
just
always done.
something that people gave them the cans and bottles or whatever, and they took them. It wasn't something that the select board said they had to take, or they couldn't take, or anything like that. It was just something that people wanted to do if they wanted to.
But people can't do that now.
No, I mean, I take mine to the Redemption Center, I always have. But it wasn't something that we gave them and took it away.
Are you asking if you went up there and said, here's 2 cases of empties, they're not allowed to take them?
Is that so?
That's what I'm asking.
Is that so that they're not allowed to take them?
He's asking the question.
So I guess the question would be to Judy, since.
Yeah, I think that the attendant can take them if they want to give them to him at his house,
But not if you,
not up there. At what comes to, I think that land, which is town land, actually is belonging to the town, just like we can't go in and take it out of the refuge area, because that now is belonging to Wyndham Solid Waste. So you know, we're talking about 1 or 2 people, and yet what we're giving the money to is, where the money is going currently is to the school for children who do not have clothes enough to cover them for the winter time. So you talk about maybe gradation in what is more important, to give a benefit to someone who is already earning money and working a full-time job. They work 32 hours a week,
I
getting
thought
full
they had to work
benefits.
34 hours.
And yet to children who
No.
are coming to
It's
school.
now 30.
30.
With the Obamacare, it became 30.
To give this to children who are having difficulty dressing well. I think that there's no question.
So is this money, these cans going specifically to children who need the
Yes.
benefit?
It's going to be a rotating.
What organizations? are getting
That's for the school, and what we're doing is we're doing a few months here to the school, and then we're going to look at the recreation, Jamaica Recreation Board.
Who at the school is getting the money? What
Oh,
organization?
I wouldn't
What
know.
organization in the school?
It's the school has a benefit part of their budget.
And that would be a question to ask the school. I think we can beat this to death, but here's
But
the
he can
deal.
talk to, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
he can talk to Laura Hazard.
Yeah, let's make it clear that the property, the piece of cake that she's referring to is a legal issue of somebody bringing up. If somebody wants to slip an old empty Coke can into the attendant's back pocket, there are no alarms going to go off.
Well, we're
Having
talking-
said that,
we're talking
the
about
convenience is for people who wish to make a contribution, this is a small way, but it adds up. We're gonna make it easier for for our population to make that contribution. And that's all we're trying to do. We don't want to get bogged down in whether we're taking from the rich and giving to the poor. The truth of the matter is, we're trying to make it easier for the population to present that sort of funds to all the agencies, the Boy Scouts, the Cub Scouts, the Girl Scouts, whatever Scouts, the recreation. There's lots of agencies in town that could use a little extra money, and we're going to, as a town, go in that direction. And that's the nature of what's going on here.
And there are children who do need hats and mittens and socks or anything. I do the GIST program with some other folks, and some of the kids come with little socks that they wear in the summertime. I always bring extra socks and take them home, wash and bring them back so that they're dressed warmly. But there's a lot of children who, the mittens have holes in them and gloves. It's sad.
It's a way for the town
Yeah.
to help. And
Yeah, that
that's-
makes me the bad guy.
Well,
Listen, excuse me, I think it's a lot simpler before I didn't think this was gonna come to fruition anyway. But it would have been okay with me to just leave it the way it is, whether the attendant got it or not.
I don't think that makes you the bad guy. That
Well,
makes-
if you're about kids running around half naked and everything else, come on. I mean, I can take that, I can refer you to places that are giving away coats to kids, adults. I know like 5 different places, but, you know, so when it comes to a vote, I'm just against the whole thing, period. I'm in the minority. Because I just thought it would be all right to leave it the way it was. And that's all I have to say about that.
And you're very consistent. I think that's fair.
I didn't say anything to begin with because I didn't think it was gonna happen. But then the attendant got
We changed the attendance
turned,
too.
I know, that's what I mean, a lot of things
A
happen.
lot of things have changed. Okay, so anyway, back to your presentation. Anything else?
No, unless you have, did you finish with your
We
question?
are in discussion, and we are at the point of voting on whether we're going, now, I'd like to phrase this to the maximum of, that's $391, that's $400, and 2 is 6.
Okay.
That way, they can go underneath it if they use extra wood. So can we frame your
Yes.
motion to a maximum of $600
Yes,
for labor and parks?
okay.
Okay. You want to frame
I
that?
move that we build the bin for bottles and cans, and the cost of the materials and labor would come no greater than $600 for the entire bill for the building of it.
Do you have a second on the amended motion?
I will second that.
Do I have any further discussion on the amended motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no.
No,
I heard 2 to 1, that's all I heard.
3, I said aye, I'm sorry.
Did you? Okay, so it's 3 to 1, motion carries. Thank you very much. Okay, so I covered, listen, you have 2 things? And then you're gonna have, you want an executive session at the end, we'll tag that back in.
Can I bring up one thing, we're talking about transfer station.
Okay?
I should have maybe put this as an addition, but somebody came to me today and asked me about the fact that because of what's going on at the district, will there be recycling beginning in July? And I just wanted to clarify that there will be recycling beginning in July. Recycling is not gonna go away. Because we have a transfer station and we collect trash, we must collect recycling. We will collect recycling.
Will it be restricted to, it'll be what, it'll be single stream or it's gonna be the 1 to 3?
That's up to us to determine, but it will be equal to or better than what we've got now.
Gotcha, good, thank you, very good point.
Okay.
Very good, thank you. And while you have the floor, you had something else you wanted to talk about to do with demolition,
When we had our site visits,
But,
We didn't do rescue links, did we?
we did not.
No, we were waiting for that.
Well, the question was whether you want to go upstairs and find that. You and I looked it over.
I have looked it over, yes.
Okay, so we both looked it over, it's the same as it's been.
It's the
The
same.
question is whether they want me to go out and get it, we can read it now, or we want to just go with our observations.
does it require one signature or all of our signatures?
I think
it's
just
a select
one,
board.
Then I move that we accept the rescuing contract and authorize the chair to sign on behalf of
because
the
the
board.
price did not go up, it's the same, is it?
Yeah, it's the same fees.
And the same, and we're getting the same
We
service.
have a second?
I'll second.
We have 2 seconds.
Oh,
We
okay.
have a second. Any further discussion? The chair apologizes for not having the forms right open. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, Motion carries. I will be the chair, I'll sign it tomorrow. All right, so now back to,
Okay.
thank you, that's right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, at the site visit we had at the town garage with the potential bidders for the RFP, we discussed with Keith how we're gonna take down this building, and originally the idea was that we would take it down, the town group people would take it down. I guess Keith has kind of decided that it's a little bit too much of a task for the town workers, so I think we should probably put it out to bid to somebody with an excavator or some other equipment to be able to pull that thing down. We looked at giving it away to Stratton, and they decided they didn't want it. It's gonna cost them too much to take it down and re-erect it. They could buy almost a brand new building for that price, so we should put out an RFP. So I would like to move that we ask Terry to put together an RFP, or Pam, it doesn't matter which one, put together an RFP for the demolition of that building.
And you're going to say in the RFP too, they can either,
They can either take it down and reuse it, do whatever they want with it.
Move it.
They can move it or
And they can
tear it
move all the metal
down
and all
and
that.
sell it for scrap. It doesn't really matter which way.
And they'll grade it too?
Pardon me? No, because they'll rough grade it, but because we've got to remove the concrete. The concrete will have to be bashed and moved up to the town transfer station.
Did you make a motion?
No, but I guess I could. Let's put that in the form of a motion. Did I make a motion?
You kind of did.
I'll move that just to make it. So we'll put together an RFP and we'll bring that to you at the next select board meeting to, if that sounds good to you.
I'll second that motion, and then, I
Okay,
just
so-
wanted to ask you a question. Will they bring it down to like grade and all of that, or is that all coming in the?
Yeah, well, the cement pad has to be pounded out
Oh,
and all the cement moved up to the transfer station. We always push that over the bank.
on this
We're
RFP?
gonna be able to do that?
This time of year, I don't have to ask Keith.
Yeah, I mean, or will we be allowed to do that?
Yeah, concrete is not a
Okay,
hazardous material.
okay.
The only thing I'd like to say
That
to
might extend our transfer station.
It'll be a good thing.
your kingdom is getting bigger.
Yeah, right.
Or queendom, I'm sorry. The other thing too, we have to keep in mind that the time needed to take that down pulls our limited staff
can you
off
ask
the
that
road.
question? Because I don't know.
I've been
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah.
So that does seem like a good idea at all.
Yeah.
Lou, I have one question. Okay, when we do the RFP, is the removal of the cement in that RFP?
Yes, the breaking up of the cement.
Cement too, okay.
Right, and the moving it up to the transfer station.
Okay.
Any further discussion, any further questions? Pam, did you get what you need?
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion to create an RFP for the removal of the current garage passes.
Do you have any date on when that might be happening?
Well, where the RFP for the town garage calls for beginning the project in April 15th, about middle of April. So that would have to be done by the middle of April. To answer your question, just to answer your question, after the stone is removed, they'll just rough it in. But remember, whoever's going to do the work is going to have to do all kind of site work there. So,
But you do the work by putting the new one in.
right.
Yeah, this is
They're
good.
going to have to dig trenches to put the new foundation in.
That'll be the contractors.
Yeah.
Alrighty then, so, thank you very much. We have time for public concerns, we have a public. And he's looking unconcerned.
I'm unconcerned.
So, we've had 2 requests for executive session. These executive sessions are going to be for personnel issues.
And
Are
we
they
won't
the
be-
same issue or 2 separate issues?
Two
Well,
separate issues.
2 separate issues.
yeah, mine will be for
Don't go
town
in,
property.
don't go in, okay, don't go into detail
Alright.
about.
No, just town property.
Therefore, what we'll do is we will go into executive session. I think you don't really need to hang around here, or do
Because
you?
we're not gonna come up with.
No decisions.
No decisions have been made, we're gonna be discussing it, and we can excuse our scribe. Would you be kind enough to take over where Pam left off?
Sure.
And then forward, let's call it 7:40.